I love the Games Workshop SPG models. They look amazing. I want all of them, but I'm not made of money. So I've been scouring eBay looking for cool deals that can make things a little bit cheaper. And while I was scrolling through, I found this badly painted Boromir model. As soon as I saw him, my heart went out to Boromir and I had to buy him. He was super cheap, so I ordered him and I'm gonna make a little diorama. But before we get on to that, let's have a moment's silence for Sean Bean, who never survives a movie. There we go, good as new and ready to paint. As you can see, 2 of the arrows were missing from the model set. When you buy models from eBay, you're going to have to expect that there are some imperfections, especially if you want your minis cheap. So a little bodging and patching is more often than not required. To replace the arrows, I simply use some sewing pins with a dab of super glue and then dip them into some sawdust flock before nipping them down into a lovely pair of makeshift Urukai arrows that are likely to give you tetanus. If you guys think you have a better method for making tiny arrows, please let me know in the comments below. Once that's all painted up, that shouldn't look too bad. Let's get this primed up and get painting. So it's actually been a little while since I've sat down to paint a model that I really wanted to aim a little higher than my usual standard with the paint job. But still, trying to do a tutorial on this definitely wasn't my goal. My main aim for this project was to try and improve on my previous attempt at Boromir, which I painted for my Balance Tomb project that I did last year. The main thing that I wanted to improve on was my colour choices. The last model ended up being a little bit too purple and maybe a little washed out, so I paid more attention to my mix, using pure red, matte black and leather brown to get a ruddy, almost maroon colour for Boromir's tunic. I find myself mixing black in with my colours a lot, making the undercoats darker, which helps me a little bit later on with highlights. For the overcoat, again, I just add a little black to my deep blue, but I was changing the mix as I painted, going darker for the more recessed areas, laying the groundwork for highlights later on. And lastly, for the cloak, I mixed goblin green, leather brown and black. All of the colours that I've mentioned are from the Army Painter's basic range, by the way, just in case anyone is wondering. Now, like I said before, my aim was definitely not to do a tutorial here. If you found this video, there is a reasonably good chance that you are into middle or strategy battle game and are probably far better at painting than me. So if you're watching this and you have any tips at all that might help me improve my overall paint job, please let me know in the comments below. Or even better, if you have painted this model and any of the other Boromir poses, feel free to post some of the pictures in my Discord server. I would love to see what you guys can do. If you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments below. I will reply to you with a link. Discord links I've been posting in my video descriptions keep disappearing, so it's far easier for me to just give you the link directly. Anyway, finishing up with a bit of a wash here. Good old Agraxor shade to the rescue, and then a glaring mistake. I sent a picture of this model to my dad and he just replied, "Orcs don't have red blood." Dope! So before I finish off the diorama, I'm going to go back and fix that. I'll probably mix glistening blood with black and a little gloss medium, and hopefully that will do the trick. We'll see. This horn is so tiny, and I couldn't glue it to the model before putting the basing material on. So I'm having to paint all of the little details on, and then I'll glue it to the model once it's painted. I'm definitely happy with how he's turned out in comparison to the first Boromir that I did. The colouring's a lot better, I've got his cloak a lot better. Some of my highlighting's better. Still lots of room for improvement, but I'm really happy with him, and he's going to look good within a diorama where you're not focused on all those small mistakes and details that might be there. So let's build a diorama. Starting out on this diorama to help me rescue Boromir, I'm going to be making some trees from hot glue and string. I do actually have a full tutorial on how to do this, which is linked above, but what I will say is that this method does come with a small risk of burning yourself, so you've got to be careful, but the end result always looks really good. For my base, I'm just going to be using some MDF. I'm going to build up the land with some wood and sculptor mold. I've got my trees. I need to get the statues and I need to build up some ruins. But I've also only got this model of Lurtz, and I really want that one with the bow and arrow. I think there is one. See if I can find that, and if not, I might have to give someone a call. But this is roughly what I'm looking at. This little diorama that I'm making is as easy as it gets when it comes to displaying your minis, but I'm building it for a specific reason. I find that with my level of painting, looking at my minis on their own leaves me a bit meh. But when I put some effort into making a nice scene for them to be displayed in, I find a different level of satisfaction. As you can see, there is nothing hard about building terrain. Anyone can do it. An hour or so with some MDF, scraps of foam and a little bit of modelling compound, and you have the makings of a decent scene to complement the models you have spent all of that time painting. And I find that it actually improves how your minis look, because rather than focusing on the details, you enjoy the scene as a whole. Absolutely love modelling compound. It dries so quickly, but it gets absolutely everywhere. Find the halflings! As long as you create a layout that is authentic to your minis, then you're on to a winner. I'm really happy with the layout and how it kind of matches what I'm seeing in the film with the slope coming down to where Boromir dies. The one thing that I don't have is the statue that is behind Boromir. That's where my buddy Dave from Kit Bash Box comes in. Dave has been working on a seriously cool project where he has been 3D modelling all of the ruins in and around Amon Hen. He's done an absolutely awesome job at matching what we see in the films, and all of the models are sculpted to be in the same scale as the GW minis. Dave very kindly sent me over the STL files for the statues in Amon Hen, which of course I have printed off so I can put them inside my model. I absolutely love the detail in the statue. It looks just like the films, and this is just going to take my diorama to another whole level. And here's the statue. So a big thanks to Dave from Kit Bash Box, and if you haven't checked out his channel, you really should. It's criminally undersubscribed, and his Amon Hen project is absolutely brilliant. So go and check out. There's a link in the description below. There's a shot earlier in the film where Lurtz is firing his first arrow at Boromir, and you can notice that there's a statue right behind him. So I'm including one up at the top of the hill, and with the broken one I'll just scatter it down the front somewhere. You guys have probably watched 1,000 YouTube videos on cutting XPS foam, building ruins and terrain for wargaming, and I have covered the subject many times on this channel. The point to walk away with from all of this is that this is easy. As you can see, I'm using the classic techniques for painting with a darker undercoat, which is going to accent all of your shadows before building up different layers of colour. I tend to use a lot of burnt umber in my natural elements, but always come back round with overbrushing in tones of green, grey and different tans, all before finishing off with lots and lots of dry brushing. The one thing that I haven't done as often when building terrain is using modelling compound over the entire base. Usually I use PIR foam to build up my terrain and texture with some trusty old violence and heavy bristle brushes. The reason being is that I was finding that modelling compound didn't take paint too well and can end up peeling. Clearly the best method for modelling compound is to use washes, as they are more easily absorbed. Anyway, rather than giving you a step-by-step voiceover for some very simple techniques that you can see clearly on screen, I thought I'd take a quick moment to talk a little bit more about my first eBay rescue mission. So buying used, badly painted and unloved minis off eBay to strip and rescue is nothing new, but it is to me. I really like opening a brand new box, knowing that there is going to be nothing wrong with the model and all of the required pieces are intact. Not to mention, I just like the boxes too. But when it comes to Middle-earth strategy battle game, there are loads of sculpts that have been discontinued, and there are other minis that I really want that are just difficult to get brand new. Not to mention the fact that GW minis are very pricey, especially at the moment where everyone is feeling the pinch. I was actually quite impressed with what you can find on eBay. There are actually quite a lot of half-painted or badly painted minis that you can pick up for next to nothing. And if you can be bothered to spend some time stripping and fixing them up a little, then there are some serious bargains to be found. I got my Boromir model for $9.99 and it only had 2 arrows missing. There was another unpainted model for £12, but all 3 arrows and the horn were missing. And the Mini just isn't ever going to be complete without the broken horn. Then there was a big price jump up to between £30 and £40 to get a Mini with all of the pieces intact, unpainted, or even more for a nicely painted model. I'm really happy I managed to get Boromir for a steal, and scouring eBay for decent deals on unloved minis is definitely going to become a regular practice for me now, hoping that I'll come across a nugget of gold that is just a no-brainer to buy. I'm curious to see who out there has managed to nab the most impressive deal. What are the best deals that you guys have managed to pick up off eBay? Which models and how much did you pay for them? Also, what was wrong with the models and what did you have to fix? There's bound to be someone out there who's picked up an unreal number of minis for next to nothing. Pretty much finished the diorama now. I've got some deadfall logs that I've also glued in, and I am just sacrificing some Uruk-hai scouts so that there's some carnage from Boromir's last stand defending the hobbits. The one thing I don't have is the Lurtz model, so I just need to make a quick phone call. And my cat is going crazy. Right, phone call.
I wonder who that could be. Oh, hey man, what's up?
Oh hey dude, any ideas where I might be able to get the Lurtz model where he's firing his bow? I've tried eBay and the only models I can find are way out of my price range.
Nah mate, keep dreaming. I got mine years ago and they are super rare now.
So you're saying you have the model?
Yeah mate, but you can jog on if you think I'm giving you mine.
It is not yours, saved by unhappy chance. It couldn't be mine. It should be mine. Give it to me. Give it to me. No. Give me the one. No.
Hello, wakey wakey. Snap out of it. Look, I can't let you have him, but how about I paint him up for you anyway and send it across to you? That way you can use him in your diorama and then just pop him back in the post when you're done.
Yeah, that would be perfect, dude. Yeah, I'll send it right back to you after I've made the diorama. Perfect. Make sure to go and check out Benji's video. It's out today and the link is in the description below this video. Finished. The whole time that I've been building this diorama, I had genuinely been pondering the question, why does Sean Bean always die in movies? So while I thank my awesome Patreon members for their amazing support, I'm going to play a quick compilation of Sean Bean death scenes. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to help me slay the savage algorithm, you know what to do. And if you want to support the channel or get involved with my small community, check out my Patreon and Discord to share your work and get involved with our regular hobby hangouts. So until next we meet, Nalaway Go Vanid Vin.